Hello and welcome to R&R tutorial. The purpose of this presentation is to introduce basic reporting functionality of R&R graphical user interface. We're now looking at the main screen, and in the course of this presentation we will try to identify problems with calls passed through partition and identify which party was responsible for the bad quality. On the left hand side we have a filter menu that would help us to get more narrowed down reports. On the top we see graphics for ASR, ACD, and below them we see an hourly table that also gives us information on average call duration and average PDD. Left hand side we have 5 reporting menus, and to the right we see 5 menus that are responsible for setting up your partition, routing, billing, and dialing codes. First, let's look at the minutes graph. That's the minutes graph for 10 days, as we see in the filters, and the same graph for the same period with ASR. Now let's filter down to a single day and try to see some inconsistencies in traffic pattern. We click refresh, and now we see a graph for single day. We do see a drop around 10 in the morning in ASR. We also see drop in number of minutes. We from table can say that ASR went down to 2%, whereas ACD was in a ballpark of the previous hours. So let's now filter hour that had a problem, and then run destination report. Report is open in another window, so we wouldn't see it here, but from that report one can see that the problem was in the country Pakistan. Now we go back down to Pakistan, filter it, click refresh, and we have a graph for Pakistan. We do see a drop in there. So let's check what was the problem. We go to CDR search menu. We filter back to that single day that had a problem and a single hour. What CDR search menu will show us are all the call attempts that reached the switch, and they will also show how the switch treated the call, how the call went out, whether it went out or not, and which party ordered the call disconnect. So we click refresh, and we immediately see calls that had reached the switch. We also see that outbound trunk group is populated, so call try to go out to the carrier. There's a lot of information on each call, whether the codec was negotiated, which one was negotiated. But the most important for us is the disconnect reason and disconnect party initiator. The out summary will show us what carriers took the calls. We see that we only using one carrier that had 2% ASR. Now let's take a look at the inbound. Who sent calls into partition, and whether the problem of a low ASR could be just, there was a bunch of bad numbers coming in. Well, we do see that quality was pretty low universally among all inbound trunk groups. That would tell us that the problem must be common on the outbound. Let's go back to CDR and pay attention to disconnect reason that we see. It's 34 and coming from the cold party, so from termination. Disconnect reason summary tab will show us a summary of all disconnect reasons in that filtered period. And we do see that 90% of calls were dropped by cold party with disconnect reason, no circuit available. We would immediately say that we need to open up a trouble ticket with the termination, as they do not have enough capacity for us. That would conclude our presentation.